Hey everyone, and welcome. My name is Mike Howard, and I'm the product manager for our social platform SDKs. And with me today is Jewel Lim, product manager for Avatar SDK. Particularly in today's challenging climate, VR is unique as a medium for bringing people together across distance, allowing them to feel connected and experience social presence, that sense of being there with others. In the last year, we've seen the social story of the Oculus ecosystem evolve, both as more people joined the VR community, but also with the increasing number of really compelling social experiences that allow people to spend time with each other or feel more connected to others through what they're doing in their solo play. So today we're going to talk about the social platform, which exists to help you, developers, connect people to their friends, family, and communities, both inside and outside of VR. Whether it's the systems that enable social presence within apps like avatars, the navigation and coordination services that allow people to get into apps easily and connect with others, or the activity features that help us highlight what's going on in the app, creating compelling reasons to discover and return. We'll cover a few of the recent platform updates, talk about what the future holds, and speak to some best-in-class examples and practices for social VR apps, starting with avatars. Over to you, Jewel.
Thanks, Mike. As you saw in the keynote, we've overhauled our avatar system with a new art style, an SDK we built from the ground up, as well as a new integration with the Body API, which leverages Facebook's investment in human understanding. Let's start with the art style. When we asked people what they needed from their avatar, they told us they wanted a way for them to be able to personalize and create an authentic version of themselves in VR. This means creating an avatar that is distinctly unique and recognizable to their friends, family, and members of their community. So we've invested in a number of ways for you to change your appearance in VR and customize it. That includes different hairstyles and types, details like brow, shapes, nose, and lips, and even different face shapes, so everybody can create an avatar that feels comfortably them. We are also excited to announce that we will be giving you some diverse body shapes to use. And there are a host of different ways for you to accessorize and dress your avatars, from different outfits to accessories like makeup and jewelry. I should mention that while our avatar will first start off with just upper body, we are building the whole thing with a whole body in mind. So as we begin to give you lower body capabilities, you can bring your whole self into VR soon. With all these assets, there are a billion ways for you to customize your avatar. And that's just the beginning. We're going to be adding more to the avatar wardrobe as we go. And I'm excited to see you leverage these customizations soon. So let's now talk about the SDK. The Avatar SDK exists to allow developers to bring platform avatars into their app without needing to invest in 3D content or even the avatar editing experience itself. The Avatar SDK evolved with the Oculus platform with the launch of the touch controllers and our move to standalone VR in Android. With the launch of Quest last year, we've added gaze detection, micro expressions, and machine-learned lip syncs, which basically gives you a live avatar that you can use without the opaque glasses. SDK 2 is even better. We built a full implementation from scratch with all of the assets we've mentioned here, as well as a performant animation system and tracking with a 3-point IK simulation, hand tracking, and improved lip processing. It is the complete package, ready out of the box for developers to integrate with. Unlike SDK 1, SDK 2 is modular by design, which means there's greater flexibility for developers to decide what they want to adopt versus which APIs they want to build in-house. We're excited to be able to give you the ability to integrate our Oculus assets directly into your app as an optimized combined asset. However, if it's not an art style that is compatible with your app, you can still use the SDK to power your own assets with our animation systems and body tracking APIs. Our animation API has a performance management system that allows developers to specify the level of detail, or LODs, and how to network them. Pretend you're in VR with your friends, Sally and Jake. Sally is right next to you, and you can see all of her facial expressions and her very clear animation from her avatar. Jake is a little bit farther in scene, And our system has optimized Jake at a lower LOD to save on compute power and bandwidth. Our LOD system is able to create optimizations in networking based on factors like distance and, relevance to the user. The animation API also has an integrated memory tracking and CPU profiling. As an add-on for app optimization, you can use our GPU skinning that makes light work of blend shapes and animation at the fraction of the cost of the CPU. Now, let's talk about the new upper body API. It uses a 3-point IK system and fuses together hand tracking, headset and controller tracking, and our lip sync APIs to create a single point of reference for the player's state. With our targeting APIs, your assets, animation, and body tracking inputs from the user are seamlessly connected together so that even if your user picks an avatar that isn't actually proportional to them in real life, you can still get accurate user movements. We have also improved our streaming API, which enables functionality for multi-user networking experiences, recording and playback of performances, and this allows for a more social and shareable experience in-app while using your avatars. Our improved API will allow you to leverage all of the changes and new features we've made to the SDK, such as the ability to stream different tracking LODs. We are continuously investing in the Avatar SDK as we improve the technology and the algorithms that power it. That means that any additional advancements can be inherited by your app with little to no work by developers. The SDK will also support Unity and Unreal engines and will soon be available cross-platform. I'm excited to see you all create your authentic self in VR and to leverage our improvements to the SDK by creating social, meaningful experiences using avatars within your app. Back to you, Mike, to talk about coordination and activity systems.
Thanks, Jewel. So avatars allow people to be authentic and connect within social experiences. We want to help you get people into those experiences together and create compelling reasons for them to get back to the app. So let's start by talking about our coordination systems. Last year, we launched Destinations, Rich Presence, and Deep Linking, which I'm going to quickly recap. Destinations put your app on the map of VR. They're the levels, gameplay modes, worlds that you create and define with rich media and additional context like text descriptions, highlighting popular or new content within your app. Rich Presence is a real-time system for communicating where people are, their current destination, and whether they can be joined by friends and members of their party, making it easier to find friends and gather in apps. And finally, Deep Linking API allows the app to respond to specific launch intents, like launching to a destination directly, joining a friend who's already in a destination, and group launch, which passes the app an ID to use in creating a room and navigating everyone into the same place together. By implementing these 3 features, we're able to unlock a number of flexible ways for people to discover, launch, and connect with other people in your app. So now I'm going to talk through a few of the things that we've shipped over the last few months that leverage these features. First up, destinations are now showcased within our system feeds, both in VR and 2D. And Rich Presence makes it easy to discover what friends are doing and what is popular now, and join the action with a click. And we're continuing to look for new ways to highlight interesting destinations and friend activity to people to help them connect based on what they've been doing. Oculus Parties is already a powerful way for people to keep talking while playing apps. And last month, we upgraded Oculus Parties with Travel Together. Travel Together uses the Destinations and Deep Linking APIs to launch a group of players into the app together. The Deep Linking API passes the app a joinable room ID, which the app can use to create a room and route the entire party together without having to navigate any menus to get there. Depending on the app, this can reduce the number of user actions to getting together by an order of magnitude. What's more, Parties is a great way for people to discover the places they could be in your app. Users get to pick from multiplayer destinations and find new places to hang out before launching there together. And because Travel Together is built into Parties, people can access it from everywhere and use it to connect into any app that supports destinations and the group launch Deep Link intent. We've also extended Parties to support up to 8 players and launched a new feature to help people find players for their party, public parties. For many multiplayer games, concurrency is a big issue. Users need to be in VR and playing the same game at the same time to find someone to play with. So Public Parties was created to make it easier to find people to play with from anywhere. You pick the app that you want to play and the destination inside the app, a specific game mode or level, and then we'll find the right number of people to play with before a one-click launch gets you to the app with everybody else using Travel Together. So we make it easy to find people who are looking for a party and join them from our system feeds. And soon you'll also be able to set this up and find players from your phone before even getting into VR, and launch the app together directly with your new friends. All of these features are enabled when you integrate rich presence, destinations, and deep linking, and we've also extended that deep linking functionality out beyond VR, helping communities connect directly into VR. Every destination and deep link has a URL. You can launch VR content directly to your headset from Facebook, the Oculus app, or any web browser with the URL. That means that you can share links which allow people to launch content directly from their phone, laptop, or tablet into VR and get them right there into the social experience. We've also made it easy for people to share these links from within VR directly to our apps, so friends can join them from anywhere with as few clicks as possible. And as of this month, you can now create custom URLs and further customize launch intents. So we've added a server-to-server API for creating deep links, giving you a number of ways to connect your community in VR. And we're already seeing some of our developers use this in really exciting ways, like putting links on their website and pinned posts, promoting new worlds, lobbies, and content to help people discover what's new in the app from their phone, and managing community tournaments, using the group launch deep link to route the right players together and facilitate competitive brackets. Some developers are creating private URLs for a specific community, like a Facebook group, allowing them to pin a private lobby as their permanent meeting place in VR, while others are using these URLs and making them available for people who want to promote worlds that they've created to their friends and followers. These URLs allow people to launch directly into specific places that you create and share, helping communities gather in VR no matter where they came from. Now, we're starting to see these features mature, and it's worth talking quickly about some of the best practices we've already seen developers implement using them. The first is to think about deep linking and how it can streamline the app launch experience. A number of apps have implemented the deep link API early enough in the app lifecycle to be able to reduce asset loading and menu loading and jump right into the lobby, saving time for the user and minimizing any wait before they're with other people. Second, thinking about that post-launch experience when there's a group or join travel intent. And it's worth considering that people may not all arrive at exactly the same moment, and having some means of progressing into the experience with friends who can then join later if a few more need to arrive. It's also worth thinking about safety and security, particularly when you're giving out these URLs to communities. Many apps already have communities that self-organize, and they've been creating their own chatbot integrations to help people know which room to launch to. Our deep linking APIs make this really streamlined, but it's worth still thinking about how these links are shared and protected. A best practice that we've seen for people using URLs in more open discussion forums is having some way for people to set a PIN code to join their private lobby. Finally, I can't overstate the importance of investing in destinations with great images and descriptions. People are going to see your in-app content in many different places and ways, and you'll be the most successful if you can make the destinations look interesting and compelling by setting a title and a description and a great piece of imagery that captivates people and makes them want to find out more. Destinations are a way for you to really showcase the content in your app, and it's worth thinking about that combination that does this effectively. So now let's talk about in-app activity. When we stood back and looked at the platform over the last couple of years, we realized that there was lots more that we could do to help people engage with apps, particularly the social ones, both in terms of getting updates about in-app social activity, but also getting back to the app. So leaderboards and achievements were creating compelling ways for people to invest in community and competition and progression. But there was no way to know that you dropped in the global leaderboard or been passed by a friend. Our research indicates that about 50% of Quest users are competitively motivated, and early experimentation with providing people more updates about in-app activity highlighted how these could compel people to go back to their favorite app. We're continuing to invest and build on our existing leaderboards and achievements, and I'm delighted to provide an update on some of those features that are now available. So last year, we announced that leaderboards notifications when a friend beat your score would be coming to the platform. And this year we've made it possible to tie your leaderboards to a specific destination. So people can have a rich preview of the level that they're competing on and a one-click launch from the Oculus mobile app all the way back into VR when they find out that their friend beat their score and get right into the action to compete with them. Unsurprisingly, leaderboards are one of our most engaged with systems on the platform, and we've continued to find ways to make competition more compelling, like letting you know when someone's about to beat your score, and also recommending popular levels that you might want to try based on other people's activity. If you haven't seen these updates already, we've also begun to make increasingly more of leaderboards and achievements at the platform level, including within the Oculus feed, and now with a dedicated app. The Scoreboard app is where everyone can see and compare stats across all of the different leaderboards and achievements, and it's something that everyone has access to. These updates now feature prominently on our home screen, giving people a sense of what's happening in their competitive communities at a glance before they click once deeper into the Scoreboard app. And as you may have seen today in the keynote, we just launched challenges. When we talked to people about how they use leaderboards, we heard that some struggle to compete in the global leaderboard. Being in the top 10 is really exciting. Being in the top 100,000, slightly less so. So challenges are a way for people to create more narrowly defined competitions for friends and their community, whether it's throwing down a gauntlet to someone who keeps bragging about their skills, or creating a weekly competition to help your team at work stay motivated. We've actually even used this internally since COVID started. We have a VR Olympics for all of our employees with a varied slate of different competitions and prizes that can be won. With challenges, you choose a specific leaderboard from an app that you own. You set a title and a time window like daily, monthly, or weekly, and then you choose whether it's public or private and invite people to it. So whenever you update your score on the leaderboard, the challenge also gets updated. But importantly, the challenge is only for the scores you record while the challenge is active. Just because you happen to set an all-time record-breaking score a couple of months ago, you now have to do it again. That doesn't count. And the challenge keeps people engaged and motivated with their friends around the kind of competitive element, and that time boxing really helps people get engaged. Challenges are integrated directly into the Scoreboard app and allow people to create their own competitions on top of existing leaderboards. So you don't have to do anything except set up your leaderboards with a deep linkable destination so that we can get people directly there. And just like leaderboards, challenges show up in those system feeds and notifications in many ways with more urgency than a regular leaderboard update, because there may only be one day left to beat your best friend's high score. They can also be shared with a URL, and they support remote deep linking, so it's easy to create something and get it to your community wherever they are. Best of all, there's also a developer API for challenges. That means that you can create daily, weekly, or monthly challenges for your community and showcase those specific challenges within your app as well. This gives people a really easy way of getting some variety of programmed content within your app, and you can guide people who aren't sure about what they should do in the app today with something like a challenge. These developer-created challenges are also featured in our scoreboards and have the same tight integration with platform feeds and notifs. Finally, one of the biggest pain points for our developer community has been the lack of cross-platform support. For leaderboards in particular, this has resulted in many developers bifurcating their communities across each platform, and there's no way of knowing who's the worldwide number one. So I'm delighted to announce that both leaderboards and challenges now support cross-platform. We've created a set of APIs to allow developers to create federated users, which mean that people can access the leaderboard feature set, including developer-created challenges that show up in your app. Now you'll be able to bring your community together to finally understand who's the best. So today we talked through a number of different updates to the social platform, including Avatar SDK 2.0, challenges, and new ways to deep link people into your app and help them discover communities and opportunities to be social. We hope you've enjoyed learning about these features and can't wait to see what amazing social experiences they help you create. Thank you for joining us.